Hello beauties, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Yemi and this channel is all about equipping and empowering you to thrive in all seasons of life. If you're an OG, a returning subscriber, thank you so much for always coming back for more videos, and I feel like you should notice that something has changed. If you notice the change, let me know in the comment section, okay? All right, so today I want to talk on a topic that I already have a video on, which is how to invest in yourself as a woman, to not just survive, but to thrive. So a couple of weeks ago, my friend, my husband and her husband, we're having this conversation, just kind of like setting our intentions for the year. And one of the things we talked about was the fact that we kind of are majoring on the minor and minoring on the major, if that makes sense, right? And I'll explain. We realize that a lot of things that we are spending our time on are the basic things of life, like what to eat, what to drink, what to wear, how to just survive, how to pay bills. And I know those things are very important because, you want to survive, right? You don't want to die. Sorry to say that, but you want to really survive, right? You want to be able to afford the basic things, and yeah, that's the first step, right? But we also talked about the things that we really want to be known for, the things that are burning, the desires that are burning in our hearts, and the things that we've wanted to do for ourselves as children, our dreams, our goals, the big dreams, the big goals, not just doing temporary things just to survive, no, but to actually thrive and make an impact. Personally, for me as a woman as well, I have dreams, I have goals, and I say it a lot on this channel. There are certain things that I want to be known for that haven't happened yet. I'm just on the way, but they haven't happened yet. I want to be a thought leader for women. I want my ideas to be known. I want my ideas to make impacts in the lives of women. I want a lost woman, a woman who is confused, who has been wounded, who has been hurt, whose self-esteem and self-worth has been down, who has lost her sense of identity. I want that woman to hear my voice, listen to my videos, hear my ideas, and feel empowered. And not just that, to be equipped to get up and do something with her life, to live a life of freedom, right? That's my desire, that's my intention. And I want to create tools, I want to create products that will last a lifetime. I want to create an experience for women to have that, right? That's one of my biggest desires. And every time that I'm not doing something to move me closer to that desire, I feel a sense of dissatisfaction and frustration. And so we all kind of talked about our dreams and goals, and how we constantly just minor on those things that occupy our time on a daily basis, and you realize that you don't have enough time to get to those big dreams, and gradually those big goals, those big dreams start to shrink till it's completely gone. So in today's video, I want to talk to someone who feels like she's got these dreams and she doesn't have enough time and resources to invest in herself to make those dreams come to life, right? So that's the person that I want to speak to today. And I've kind of come up with this step-by-step area that you can invest in yourself so that you can manage your time and resources to get you where you want to be. So if you're interested in this video, definitely keep watching. But I feel like I've talked a lot just to get to the main point. But yeah, I needed to get my points across to you guys. But yes, let's just get into it. Take it from me. In order to thrive and not just survive, the first area that you need to invest in is in your well-being, your wellness. It's very important, and it is the very first step, because a clear mind is an effective mind. Chaos can never bring clarity. You cannot gain more understanding. You cannot make a head's way. You cannot make good and effective decisions when there is chaos around you. When you're in you're in a toxic environment, when you're in toxic relationship, when you're in unhealthy friendship, you can never make head's way. That's not a cause. That's not something that I'm pouring out on you. It is just the reality of life. But when there is clarity, like when there is peace, when there is calm, you realize that you'll be bursting with ideas. You'll be bursting with things and strategies and tactics to make heads way. And I know this because I was in such not so great mental space a couple of months back, while I was just going through my routine of taking care of baby, taking care of others. I just felt like, oh, what is this? And I neglected myself for a bit there, There's this experience that I've created for myself with my evening routine, my me time, where I would journal, where I would, put on a nice robe or pajamas or lingerie, whatever it is that I want to, that I feel comfortable in, that makes me feel so good about myself. I'll shower, I'll do my skincare, I'll put on my robe, I'll get on a nice position, and I would journal. Sometimes I'll meditate on the word of God. Sometimes I would just soak in the atmosphere with the Holy Spirit. Sometimes I would read my old journals. Sometimes I would write new things down. And it's an experience for me. It is an experience for me. Let me know if you have that kind of experience for yourself at a specific time in the day for yourself. But that's something that I realized that I wasn't doing anymore. And because of that, there were I would look at my old journals and I would read things that I've written. I'll probably put some pictures here, right? I read one recently of what I wrote about a case for proper parenting, and I was impressed with myself that did I really write that? And that's because at the time that I wrote that, there was so much peace and calm around me. But my mind was just overwhelmed with so many things recently that I wasn't in that space anymore. And there was something that I said, you know what? I have to be in this space again, because that's my productive space. I haven't written a newsletter in a while. I haven't written a blog. But when I go back to my old blogs in my me time and I read it, I'm so impressed with myself and what I've done, and it keeps me fired up. So my point is, you need to create an experience of wellness for yourself. If you need to get on in the gym, if you feel like you've lost yourself in terms of your weight, if you need whatever it is, I'm not giving you any ideas, or I'm not like imposing any idea on you, but whatever it is that that you have thought about, and you realize that you're losing yourself in that area, you need to find a routine that works for you. Create an experience for yourself. Get enough rest, drink enough water, take care of yourself, feel confident, put your mind at ease, put your mind at rest, because like I said, a clear mind is an effective mind. Now, the moment you feel like you have gotten into the habit of prioritizing your wellness and you've gotten a hang of things, the next area to really prioritize and invest in is in your skill. Okay? You need to invest in your skill, right? And the reason why it's so important to invest in your skill is because that's that's something that brings you value. That's something that showcases your value as well. And that's also something that you can trade for the life you want. For example, I don't really like cooking. I cook because that, we have to eat, and, I don't want to stay hungry and all of that. But it's not something that I'm not the kind of person that would spend the entire day in the kitchen, or I'm not the kind of person that would be researching meals. And I know there are certain people that are great at that. And I know that the things that really makes me happy is not in the kitchen. But I need to eat and I need to feed my family in the most clean way. I would love to, hire a chef, and I would love to buy food or buy some soup from people that are really good at doing it in a clean way. I would love to buy some homemade meals, right? To save myself time. But I can't afford it because my skill has not been upgraded. And so it's important for you to be able to trade your skill for the value that will afford you the time to do the things that you are interested in. So instead of me sweating out in the kitchen that I don't really fancy, I can pay someone who fancies it, who has improved in her skill in that area, who enjoys it, who has bought the right equipment and the resources and has invested in herself in that area, so that I can focus on the things that I would love to do. Right? So it's very important that you improve on your skill. And I'm going to read the definition of a skill, right? According to the dictionary. So it says the ability to do something well. It says the ability to use one's knowledge effectively and readily in execution or performance. Your skill doesn't necessarily have to be your talent. Some people went to university to study a certain degree, but then ended up doing something else, and they have increased their knowledge in that particular skill, and that's what they are using. It doesn't necessarily mean they were born with that ability, right? So sometimes you just have to sharpen your skill to get you to where you need to be, right? So it's very important that you invest in your skills, something that you know will fetch you the resources that you need. The next area to invest in yourself after you have, worked on your skill, again, as I mentioned, this is about maximizing your time and resources, wellness, your skill. And the next area to invest in yourself is in your physical appearance, the way you look. Okay? The way you look is also very important. Now, I'm not saying that you should come down to the level of, the world's beauty standard. No. I'm not saying you go out of your way to get a BBL or to do some liposuction or to do some kind of surgery and make adjustments to your body. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying you have to come down to certain beauty standards, but I'm saying to look after your look, your appearance, right? And let me give an example. There was a time in my life where I didn't have enough money. I didn't have a job, and I still needed to look good. I need to dress myself in a way that I feel confident in. I have tiny legs, and it used to be something that I used to be insecure about. Take it from me. I used to be insecure about that, but I knew the way to dress myself in a way that I would feel confident in. And it wasn't about how people were appreciating me. And I went on YouTube to find staples that you need to have in your wardrobe to look good. The blazer, the bag, the black little black dress, what you need to just look good at certain places, right? When I make dresses out of, Nigerian fabrics, like from Ankara, I make sure that they are fitted and they look nice and the style suits my body type, right? And the reason why this is important is because people address you the way you're dressed. You don't want to dress trashy. You don't want to look trashy. And I'm not saying you have to buy the most expensive makeup. You don't have to buy Fenty or NARS just because you want to, touch up on your face. I'm not wearing makeup at the moment, and I feel like I look great, right? So what I did at the time was I bought those staples at high-end brands because I know the quality will be there. And then the things that I wear on a daily basis just to be around, I would buy them from low-level store. That's what you buy. I will buy in a thrift store, or I'll buy in low-level brands. Not necessarily that they're not great brands, but they're not expensive, they're not pricey, and they will still give me what I'm looking for. So you can do that. That's a strategy. Those attires that you would wear to interviews, to public speaking, to those places that you want to present yourself with, you can buy good quality. You can buy something that suits your body, not necessarily what you see that is trending, something that suits your body, so that when you appear somewhere, you appear great. Buy store-bought makeup, powder, whatever that you need to buy store brands. You don't need to go for the high-end brands when you're just starting out. So look for a way to, look good in your physical appearance in a way that makes you feel confident. In line with that is also how your intellectual appearance. And I love this part so much. And I feel like I talk a lot about improving your intellect. I talk about upgrading yourself intellectually a whole lot, because sometimes you have the look, sometimes you have the beauty, but when you speak, the language, the words that come out of your mouth are depressing. The way you carry yourself as a woman, if people see you, they're like, intellectually, you want to leave a lasting impression with people when they have conversations with you. You don't want to speak somewhere and they are wondering whether you actually went to university. And it's not really about that, because some people are very well knowledgeable and wise. So it's not just about, it's about being wise as a woman. It's about being prudent. It's about, using your experiences, leveraging your experiences, other people's experiences, and the knowledge you're gaining, mixing it together to navigate life in a way that is wise. I don't know how best to say it, but essentially what I'm saying is, when people connect with you as a woman, I want you to be able to leave lasting impression with them. So whatever it is that you know you need to invest in yourself to improve yourself intellectually, to speak eloquently, to come out, to express your value confidently, you need to invest in it, because you can have so much value, and when you speak, nobody will be able to they cannot correlate, they cannot draw a line between who is talking and who they are seeing, right? So it's very important to read books, listen to conversations, improve on your vocabulary. Like, it's so important to be able to communicate your work. And then the last area that I will touch on, which is also very important, is community. Community is very important, and this is again is something that I'm looking to do in the nearest future, to create an atmosphere for women. Like I said, it's an experience that I am enjoying, that I have, that I want to create for women. That's part of my dreams. But anyway, not to digress, I've also been a part of communities to grow my faith, to grow in the UK, and I am investing this year. I'm investing heavily in community. I have a conference coming up in April that I'm attending because I want to expand my network. I want to meet with women that are doing great things for other women. Like, I want to grow my community. I want to get to know a lot of people, right, that are doing things, so that I'm driven as well, right? So it's something that you should also invest in. Community is very important. If you know that the environment that you're in does not promote your growth, you then have to be very intentional about networking. If you know that you have people that are not as driven as you are around you, then you need to be very intentional about masterminds, about learning in a community, about getting tools and resources that will equip you in a community, right? So yeah, it's very important. You know those areas of your life that you need to work on. So attend or join communities that foster that kind of relationship. It is very important. And one thing you should know is no effort is a waste. Listening to my video and watching this video to this point, you haven't wasted your time. And that's why I'm very intentional about the kind of content I put out. Even if it's not getting the highest amount of views, but as long as it's impacting, that when you watch it, you actually gain something, then I'm fine. Do not think anything that you are doing now is little. Do not think what you are doing to improve yourself and your value as a woman is little. If you enjoyed this video, what are you waiting for? Please subscribe to the channel, because the next video that is coming up will be on how to find yourself when you feel like you have lost yourself to a relationship, to motherhood, or to marriage. That's the next video that is coming up, and I don't want you to miss that, because it's a very practical and interesting video. Okay, share your thoughts with me. Let me know what you have learned or what you have experienced from today's video. And in the meantime, before the next video comes up next week, you can watch this video that is coming up on your screen right now to enrich your mind. Share your thoughts with me in the comments. If you have any recommendation, any topic, anything that you want me to touch on, you can share your thoughts with me in the comment section. The lighting has changed, and that's because I'm using natural light. So yeah, thank you so much for your time today. As always, you are amazing, and I love you. Bye.